Few meetings have as much of an impact on an agile team's success than the daily stand-up. In this short video, we are going to walk through how to run a daily stand-up, navigate difficult situations, and share tips from our experience working with enterprises across the globe. As you might have guessed, the daily stand-up, or DSU for short, should happen on a daily occurrence. We find it best to schedule the meeting for a 15-minute time box and use the following agenda. Each person answers 3 things. What did I do yesterday to advance the iteration goals? What will I do today to advance the iteration goals? Are there any impediments that will prevent the team from meeting the iteration goals? It's also a good idea to post the agenda in your team room so that team members can refer to it throughout the iteration. Before starting the meeting, it is your job to meet with the product owner to make sure you are aligned on the current backlog, work in process, and team's iteration goals. Agile Manifesto Principle Number 4 states, business people and developers must work together daily throughout the project. A good way to accomplish this is to have the PO attend and observe the DSU. When introducing your team to a stand-up for the first time, go through the agenda and make sure each team member clearly understands the importance of the meeting and what the outcomes should be. This is also a good time to reference your team's working agreements. The DSU schedule is meant to help you facilitate a rapid-fire conversation that helps the team identify 3 key things. Work that was completed yesterday and work that will be completed today that advances the iteration goals, blocks or impediments that need to be addressed, meet-after discussions that can include the full team or specific teammates. When having the team update their work, remind them this is not a status meeting and ask them to keep their update to less than 60 seconds. As a Scrum Master, it's your job to help the team learn how to do this effectively and manage the team's time. If you have an update that veers off into a larger conversation, this is a good time to step in and suggest a meet-after conversation. Offer to help facilitate that conversation and write down the topic and who needs to attend so the team can move on with the updates. Once you've had everyone update their status, reconfirm if there are any impediments or blocks that need to be addressed. If there are, write these down and work with the team to identify who needs to be engaged to make sure they are eliminated. It is your role to help facilitate these conversations and help your team remove any blocks or impediments they may have. Once the team has updated their status and any blocks or dependencies have been identified, it's time to end the meeting and start any meet-afters that need to happen. We typically use the following agenda for the meet-after. Review topics the Scrum Master wrote on the meet-after board. Involved parties discuss, uninvolved parties leave. If your team frequently has many meet-afters, it may be helpful to write them on stickies rather than writing them on the meet-after board so that they can be affinity grouped and resequenced quickly. Remember, it is important to manage the meet-after topics like a backlog. Begin with those that apply to the most people and work down to those that apply to the fewest so that people can leave the stand-up area when they are no longer needed. It is not uncommon for there to be conflict among your team, and sometimes the DSU is where conflict bubbles up. Instead of engaging in the conflict, support your team by facilitating towards a resolution. It is not your job to take on the responsibility to solve it yourself. Instead, encourage the team to take ownership and provide team members with a safe environment where they can discuss their options and feel heard and understood. If you feel as though the DSU has been hijacked by conflict, stop the meeting and ask the team to agree to come back to the original agenda of the DSU. If they aren't able to, stop the meeting and reschedule once the conflict has been dealt with. To recap, hold the daily stand-up each day and time box the meeting for 15 minutes. Prepare with a PO at least once a week to align on the backlog and WIP. Have the team members update the team on their work and identify any blocks or impediments that are keeping them from completing their user story. Use meet afters to facilitate longer conversations that might include the full team or only a few members. For more information, videos, and toolkits on the role of Scrum Master in the SAFE framework, please reference the SAFE community platform and participate in the SAFE Scrum Master community of practice. Additional reading around the Scrum Master role in daily stand-up can be found in the articles on our Scaled Agile Framework site.
This video depicts the daily stand-up taking place in person, which isn't always possible. For enterprises practicing SAFE with remote and distributed teams, here are our top recommendations for a remote daily stand-up. Share the team's iteration goals on screen so that the team members can give specific updates when speaking to those items. Post updates before or in parallel in case someone can't attend. Avoid daily stand-ups becoming a status report. Remind team members to provide updates specific to risks, impediments, and measures of progress. For more remote support, please use the Remote Daily Facilitator